अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को न माय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So yesterday we were discussing substance number 1, substance number 2, substance number 3. Substance number 1 is valid knowledge. The subject of valid knowledge is substance number 1, where everything is primary, nothing is secondary. Okay. Then the number 2, substance number 2, that is that part of substance number 1 which is unchangeable, which is the subject of substance related viewpoint. So when we say viewpoint, that means one is primary, others are secondary. So that particular part which is primary, that is substance number 2. Okay, and everything else is secondary. Now the third number, substance number 3. So out of the substance number 2, there were 4 aspects. Okay, Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, substance, space, time, and nature. Okay, out of these 4, the first one is again a substance, that is substance number 3. So if we put as the first one, Dravya number 1 as 200%, then Dravya number 2 is 100%, and then Dravya number 3 is 25%. Everything clear to all?
Yes, please.
Okay. So when you want to realize yourself, where you will take shelter in, number 1, number 2, or number 3? Who will tell?
Number 2, sir.
Yes, number 2. Okay. So our objective should always be to take shelter of number 2, to do oneness with number 2. That is what is our real nature. Okay. All other are just for the sake of explanation. They have explained it. Okay. So that should be our objective. Now today we are starting a new topic, synonymous terms for the substance related viewpoint and mode related viewpoint. Okay, so this is the 4th topic in the sequence. Page number 12. You can see on your screen. From there we need to start. So we'll start with Rajeshri ji. You read.
Synonymous terms for the substance-related viewpoint and mode-related viewpoint. As we know, every entity possesses both generality and particularity. The general aspect of an entity is called substance, and its particular aspect is called modification. The subject.
Stop. So in the first line, particularity would be specificity. Okay. So we use word specific for particular. So it will be specificity. Okay. And the general aspect of an entity is called substance, and its specific aspect, not particular aspect, and its specific aspect is called modification. Okay, one more in the next paragraph, third line, again particular word comes in. There also you need to change it to specific. Okay, continue reading.
The subject of the substance-related viewpoint is referred to by terms such as substance general, samanya, non-differentiated or indivisible, abhed, eternal or permanent, nitya, and one, ek, whereas the subject of the mode-related viewpoint is indicated by the terms such as modification, specific, difference, non-eternal, and many, and so on. Thus, in
So
brief, in the
difference would be differentiated. There it was non-differentiated, so here it will be differentiated. Okay. Rest is okay. Yeah.
thus in brief, in the context of the aforementioned viewpoints, we can say general, non-differentiated, eternal, and one as qualifiers from various viewpoints of substance-related viewpoint and are as used as synonymous for the term substance, and particular differentiated, non-eternal, and many as qualifiers from various viewpoints of mode related viewpoint and are as used as synonymous for the term modification.
So here again particular will change to specific. Third line. Okay. Particular will change to specific. So in that picture of the cover page where one eye is closed and one eye is open, below there are written 4 things. Okay. So this is always mentioned: general, non-differentiated, eternal, and one. These 4 aspects comes from the 4 dimensions of each substance. Okay. Each vastu, 4 dimensions: dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav. So from the dravya perspective, it is general. From the kshetra perspective, it is non-differentiated. From the time perspective, it is eternal. And from the nature perspective, it is one. Okay. So these are all different types of substance related viewpoint. Similarly, for mode related viewpoint, we have another 4 dimensions called specific, differentiated, non-eternal, and many. Okay. So this is how we represented a substance. Okay. Continue.
Although from one viewpoint, the above mentioned words are synonymous, they still convey different nuances when used with different viewpoints. For example, when we say that an entity is manifold from the perspective of mode-related viewpoint, this usage is based on nature. Here, the speaker's intention is to highlight a modal distinction. Similarly, when we say that an entity is non-eternal from the perspective of mode-related viewpoint, this usage is based on time. Here, the speaker's intent is to express a temporal distinction. Among all the aforementioned synonymous terms for substance-related viewpoint, the term substance is the most expressive. Substance word is changed, so no.
No, substance is okay.
Similarly, among all the aforementioned synonymous terms for mode-related viewpoint, the term mode or modification is the most expressive. It is precisely due to the terms substance and modification that these viewpoints are named substance-related viewpoint and mode-related viewpoint, respectively.
Stop.
Although in the
Stop. So you see, one is substance related viewpoint, one is mode related viewpoint. Okay. So all the terms under the substance related viewpoint are synonymous of substance. Okay. So what are the 4 terms? General, non-differentiated, eternal, and one. Okay. These 4 are a synonym for the substance. And what are the synonyms for the modification? Specific, differentiated, non-eternal, and many. Okay. So these are the synonymous terms used for modification. So two terms. Out of these four, substance is the most expressive, whereas in the modification part, mode, 1 minute. 1 minute. It was in the previous paragraph. 1 minute.
Is it the word manifold?
No.
Because
1
that
minute.
word is wrong, right, sir? That manifold is wrong, the way they've written it.
Where it is written? Acha.
In the second line of although from one.
For example, although from one viewpoint the above mentioned words are synonymous, still they still convey different nuances when used with different viewpoints. For example, when we say that an entity is manifold from the perspective of mode related viewpoint. So one and many. So many is manifold here. Okay. So that is from the mode related viewpoint. This
So you see,
use
this word manifold is wrong. It should be MANY and then fold.
no manifold is word is okay. It implies many only, one and many. So here it is many, so that an entity is manifold. Manifold means many. Okay. From the perspective of mode related viewpoint, the usage is based on nature. So the last one was nature. Okay. So one and many is nature. Eternal and non-eternal is space. Sorry, it's time. Then non-differentiated and differentiated is based on space, and general and specific is based on substance. Okay. So four different aspects of the same thing being expressed from different viewpoints. So all these are in a way synonymous for each substance and the modifications. Okay. So so this paragraph, among all aforementioned synonymous terms for substance related viewpoint, the term substance is the most expressive. Similarly, among all the aforementioned synonymous terms for mode related viewpoint, the term mode or modification is the most expressive. It is precisely due to the terms substance and modification that these viewpoints are named substance related viewpoint and mode related viewpoint respectively. Okay. So here up till here we have covered. Now after this, although very important discussions coming up, again we will be touching on Dravya number 1, Dravya number 2 and Dravya number 3. Okay. Although in the scriptures the term Dravya and Paryay have been used with different meanings from various viewpoints, yet in the context of substance related viewpoint and mode related viewpoint, Dravya means the subject of substance related viewpoint. Whatever that may be, either it could be general or non-differentiated, eternal or one, all forms the part of the substance related viewpoint. Okay. Any such form is what is intended by the term Dravya. And Paryay means the subject of mode related viewpoint. Whatever they may be, particular would be specific, then differentiated. You can do the correction. Particular will be specific, different would be differentiated, then non-eternal is correct and many is also correct. Any such form is what is intended by the term Paryay. So these are the synonymous for substance related viewpoint and the modification related viewpoint. Now, one point to specially note is that although here the dravya ansha, part aspect of substance, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint. So which number we are talking about?
1.
No. 1 is always the valid knowledge, where nothing is secondary, everything is primary.
3.
No,
It
this
is
is the subject of substance related
2.
viewpoint.
2. Okay.
2, number 2, okay? Substance related, the subject of substance related viewpoint is substance number 2, is being called dravya. And in the scriptures too, within this context, this term is generally used in the same sense. However, in some instances, within the scriptures, the entire entity, that is valid knowledge, which is the subject of valid knowledge, okay, which is the subject of valid knowledge, entire entity, and possesses both generality and specificity. Again, you have to correct here. Specificity. Specificity, that is the dravya paryay nature, is also referred to as dravya number 1. So valid knowledge is always dravya number 1 and its subject is the entire entity, that is substance, attributes, modification, all are being highlighted. Nothing is secondary. This is dravya number 1. Now the next paragraph. Therefore, it is extremely important to be mindful of whether in a given context the term dravya refers to the part aspect of the dravya, that is dravya number 2, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint, or to the complete entity, that is dravya number 1. Okay, so you have to see the context where it is used. If somebody is telling you to take shelter, then it will be always dravya number 2. Okay, and if it is not applying the viewpoints, then it will be valid knowledge. Okay, where nothing is secondary, everything is primary. Okay.
G, excuse me. Right, I have a doubt there. Right, for the substance related viewpoint, they are given as a part of the dravya.
Because it is also called anshi, no? You see the chart on page number. You see the chart on page number 14. Turn back and see the chart. See, first is written the whole entity, okay? Subject of valid knowledge, dravya number 1, okay? Possessor of parts. In Hindi, it is called anshi. Possessor of parts, it's called anshi. Anshi means dravya, okay?
They are given as possessor of parts, but here it is given as part of the dravya.
So part of the major dravya, valid knowledge. So again, the valid knowledge is also dravya. Its name is also dravya. It has got 2 parts.
But here they are given as in the brackets, they are given that dravya number 2.
1 minute, where you are talking about? See, therefore it is extremely important to be mindful of whether in a given context, the term refers to the part aspect of the dravya. Of the dravya means dravya number 2, that is the subject of substance related point, or to the complete entity, that is the subject of valid knowledge. So we have only number 1 and 2. 1 is valid knowledge.
Isn't that chart wrong? Isn't that chart then wrong? I can see where Subhaji is coming from, because it says possessor of parts in that first part. First, in page 14, let me just go to page 14. Isn't that then wrong? Because you see, it says here, possessor of parts.
Because why it is saying possessor of parts? Because that is called also anshi. Okay. In Hindi, it is also called anshi. So the valid knowledge, dravya number 1, has got 2 parts. Okay. One is substance, another is modification. Okay. So substance is called anshi and the modification is called ansha. Okay. So just as dravya number 1, dravya number 2, we have 2 types of dravya, and then of course Dravya number 3. Similarly, this word anshi is also used in two sense. First, in the sense of valid knowledge, and second, in the subject of substance related viewpoint. Both place it is written possessor of parts, possessor of parts. Okay. So Dravya number 2 is also possessor of parts, and Dravya number 1 is also called possessor of parts. Depending on the context, you have to understand whether it is number 1 or number 2, because both are called anshi, both are called dravya, right? So how do you define that? Depending on the context. If it is case of valid knowledge where nothing is secondary, then it is dravya number 1. And if it is the subject of substance related viewpoint, then it is dravya number 2. Okay, this much is the difference. Okay, this explanation is again going to come. We will connect at that point time also. Just now it is going to come. Therefore, it is extremely important to be mindful of whether in a given context, the term dravya refers to the part aspect of the dravya number 2, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint, or to the complete entity, that is the subject of valid knowledge. So we have two subjects: subject of substance related viewpoint, that is dravya number 2, and subject of valid knowledge, that is dravya number 1. To clarify this distinction, sometimes the complete entity is referred to as the dravya of valid knowledge. Okay, praman ka dravya, dravya of valid knowledge, that is dravya number 1. And a part aspect of the dravya is referred to as dravya of a substance related viewpoint, that is dravya number 2. Now, very important paragraph. In this way, we see that in the scriptures, only the term dravya is found. However, for the sake of ease of understanding and to avoid confusion, we have referred to the dravya, that is the subject of valid knowledge, as dravya number 1. So in the scriptures, they will not mention number 1, number 2. You have to identify whether it is number 1 or number 2. Okay. If everything is primary, then it is dravya number 1. If one is primary and others are secondary, then it is dravya number 2. Okay. So we have referred to the dravya, that is the subject of valid knowledge, as dravya number 1. Dravya, that is the subject of substance related viewpoint, as dravya number 2. Now the third coming up. And the dravya used in the context of dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, substance, space, time, and nature, which is the subject of generality from substance related viewpoint, and specificity. Again, you have to change here, specificity from mode related viewpoint. So it is not form, F-O-R-M, it is from, F-R-O-M, from mode related viewpoint. Okay. And the dravya used in the context of dravya, kshetra, kal, and bhav, substance, space, time, and nature, which is the subject of generality from substance related viewpoint, and specificity from mode related viewpoint, as dravya number 3. Okay. Now you know the number 1, number 2, number 3. Now we can connect to the chart and understand. You can see entity, whole entity. Okay, valid knowledge, subject of valid knowledge, that is dravya number 1. Then it has got divided into two parts. One is substance, subject of substance related viewpoint, that is Dravya number 2, and the other is subject of mode related viewpoint. Okay, that is called the modification. Okay, so this divided into 2. Now the number 2 is again divided into 4 aspects: Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. So if you consider only the Dravya part, then it is general specific. General specific. If you see the space part, then it is non-differentiated, differentiated. ED is missing, you can write down non-differentiated, ED, okay, is missing. Okay, then time, eternal, non-eternal, and nature, one, many. Okay, so all these 4 put together, general, non-differentiated, eternal, one, is the subject of substance related viewpoint. And the next 4, specific, differentiated, non-eternal, many, is the subject of mode related viewpoint. Okay, just like Dravya, from the top I am reading, top of this page. We have understood the chart? Yeah. Just like Dravya, the term Ansi, okay, Ansi is another name for Dravya. Both words are Hindi. Dravya word is also Hindi and Ansi is also Hindi. Okay. Just like Dravya, the term Ansi, possessor of parts, aspects, is also used in 2 senses. See, Ansi is used in 2 senses. One in the sense of Dravya number 1 and one in the sense of Dravya number 2. Okay. So now it is all justified. Okay. In the scriptures, at some places, the word Ansi, Ans, not Ansi, but Ans, part, is used for the Dravya Ansa, part, aspect of substance, and also for the Paryay Ansh, part, aspect of modification. Okay. It is also clearly stated that in such an Ansi entity, Dravya number 1, when all its parts, aspect, that is Dravya number 2, becomes secondary, then that Ansi, Dravya number 2, is regarded as the subject of substance related viewpoint. Because secondary and primary are the distinctions made in viewpoints. It's not in valid knowledge. Okay. Now, this statement might create confusion that the whole, Anshi, possessor of parts, should be the subject of valid knowledge. So why it is being referred to here as the subject of substance related viewpoint? That is the question. Here, the whole, Dravya number 2, that is referred to as the subject of substance related viewpoint, is merely a part of the complete entity, not the entire entity. Entire entity is Dravya number 1. Out of that, one part, okay, of the complete entity is Dravya number 2, okay, and not the entire entity. What is the other part? The other part is the subject of mode related viewpoint. The complete entity is constituted by both the part, Paryay, and the whole, Dravya number 2. Okay. Together. Put together is the entity, complete entity. Okay. In this way, we see that just like the term Dravya, the term whole or the Ansi is also used in 2 different senses. The entire entity, which is constituted by both whole and part, is the subject of valid knowledge. Now, one paragraph is missing that you have to add here. Okay. You can put a asterisk and write it on the top. I have shared those 3 paragraphs in the group. We will read that also. Darshitji, you read that. That is the missing para. There also you can see Dravya number 1, Dravya number 2, and Dravya number 3. Okay. All three are mentioned. Read. In brief.
Okay. In brief, we can say that in the scriptures, the subject of valid knowledge, Praman, is also called substance, Dravya number 1, which is the complete entity possessing both general and specific characteristics. And the substance, Dravya number 2, that is the subject of the substance-related viewpoint, is also called Dravya number 2. Similarly, among the four aspects of the substance, number 2, that are the subject of the substance-related viewpoint, even one such aspect is also referred to as substance, Dravya number 3.
Got it? All three you got now? 1, 2,
I haven't
and...
got it, to be honest.
Pardon?
I haven't got it, to be honest.
Where you are stuck? 1 and 2 is clear?
You see in the text where it says, where is it? It says, we just read it. The complete entity. Somewhere it says the complete entity.
Complete
when they talk
entity.
about the complete, is that Dravya number 1 then? The
Yes,
complete entity.
it is the complete entity is Dravya number 1.
It says here the entire entity actually.
Yes, entire entity,
So that is
complete
Dravya number
entity.
1.
Yeah, Dravya number 1. Valid knowledge, subject of valid knowledge. Okay. From there, you have to apply the viewpoint. Okay. So what viewpoint does? It highlights one part and ignores all other parts. Okay. So you have to apply the viewpoint in that complete entity, that is valid knowledge.
If I can just stop you. So when you're talking of the complete entity, then you're talking of both the mode-related viewpoint and the substance-related viewpoint.
No, we are not talking about viewpoints now. Complete entity is the valid knowledge, Praman.
Okay.
There is no viewpoint. There is nothing secondary over there. Everything is primary. Okay. The cameraman entering the auditorium and seeing at a glance, audience, speaker, everything at one go. Okay. That is valid knowledge. Number 1. Okay. Now he will focus the camera on the speaker. That will be Dravya number 2. Okay. Similarly, like that. Okay, so in one paragraph which was missing, we have mentioned all the three. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay. 200, then 100, then 25. The complete entity is 200. Number 1. Then it is divided into two parts. One is substance part, one is modification part. So substance part is number 2. 100%. Okay. Again, that number 2 part has 4 aspects. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. Out of that Dravya, that is number 3, is 25%. Got it? Good. So now we have referred the chart also. Now the next topic is coming up is the 5th part. What is the natural process of understanding an entity through viewpoint and valid knowledge? This is a very interesting question, very practical. How do you realize yourself is the answer also given here. Okay. Read. Subhaji, you read. Not there, Subhaji?
Subhaji is not there, sir.
Okay.
She's left.
She has left. So, Darshiji, you read.
Okay. What is the natural process of understanding an entity through viewpoint and valid knowledge? To understand the general and specific natured entity, first through valid knowledge, one should know the substance, modification, natured entity in its entirety.
Which is number? Which number this one?
Number 1.
Yes. Thereafter, next step now.
Yeah. Thereafter, making the modification aspect completely secondary, one should focus one's attention solely on the substance aspect that is the subject of substance-related viewpoint.
Which number?
2.
Yes. So in 2, what you are doing? You are making one thing secondary. What thing you are making secondary? The modification part. Okay. And the substance part is primary, right? And that is the subject of substance related viewpoint, Dravya number 2. Okay, good. Now go ahead.
While disregarding the modifications, it is necessary to keep the entire modification aspect unconsidered, without distinguishing between right and wrong modifications, and to focus only on the non-differentiated general substance. Otherwise, the attention will not be able to reach the substance that is the subject of substance-related viewpoint.
Number 2. Okay, number 2.
Okay, but when the attention reaches the general substance, the pure modification will naturally manifest.
This is the stage of self-realization. When the attention reaches the general substance, that is number 2, the pure modification will naturally manifest. Self-experience will arise. You got? Understanding? Everyone is understanding, Rajeshri ji? You are clear?
No, sir, nothing is clear for me. I'm being very frank. It's beyond, I'll read the Hindi book and try to understand, but this is beyond my knowledge. It's like Greek and Latin to me. It's just reading
Why?
and
I
going.
don't understand.
I don't know.
We are repeating the same thing again and again since last 3 classes, and still it's not going in your mind. So I'm not able to understand where you are stuck.
Stuck
What
with
is
the
the
substance
difficulty?
and the modification. I'm stuck with them only. I really can't understand, sir. I'm sorry about it, but I don't know.
But if you try, you will understand. See,
Yeah,
Darshit ji
I
is
have
trying,
to
so
go.
he's understanding. Subhaji
No, I'm
understands
not.
now.
Sorry, sir. You know what? I think you can say that I'm understanding, but actually, I think it's still a bit raw. It's not really that well connected yet. The dots are not that well connected for me. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but see, very simple things. There are not many things here. There is one valid knowledge. Okay. In valid knowledge, there are no viewpoints. Okay. In valid knowledge, you are looking at all the things simultaneously. Nothing is secondary. All are primary. Okay. This is clear. This is Dravya number 1. Now, from there, there are 2 parts to it. Okay, one is substance part, one is modification part. You are making the modification part secondary and the substance part primary, mukhya. Okay, now your attention, okay, reaches that substance part, general substance. The moment your attention reaches there, the moment your active consciousness focuses on that part, naturally the self-realization happens. Okay.
So when you say that, it also means that there is absolutely no vikalp. There's no thinking.
Yes,
There's
no vikalp, right? No vikalp, nirvikalp. That is the stage of self-realization, no vikalp. No karta, karam, karan, no gyan, gyata, gne, nothing. No praman, no nai, nothing. At that point of time, there is nothing, only the experience. You are immersed in that experience. Okay. So that is the stage of self-realization, and that only happens when you focus on Dravya number 2. Okay. So this is something very important for our self-realization, right? So we cannot ignore such subject. Even it takes 10 times to read, you have to read and understand, right? So if you read again and again, you tell me where you are stuck, I can start from there also. That's not a problem. But I don't see any...
No, sir. This is understood. I know that there's a substance, and then it is a pure knowledge, then you have substance and the modification. That is okay. That's absolutely clear with that. But I think so they have molded in many things together, trying to complicate which would have been very easy with these 3 words, and that would have been finished with it.
Yeah, actually it
that
is
we see
simple, but
from,
when you
it's
write
very
it
simple,
down,
like from a viewpoint, if you see.
ah,
So it is that you break up the substance and you see from different viewpoints.
yes,
That's the
yes,
main thing. That's
yes,
the thing.
right,
So that
right.
much is understood, sir, but not what they have written so much.
They are repeating it again and again. I don't understand why so much of repetition, but it's there. So when the
So maybe some
attention,
further.
huh?
So
Sorry,
it's not
further
only in this
clarification.
textbook. It's in all textbooks. They're repeating again and again everything, and they're trying to complicate. Instead of that, if small, precise books were done, I think so it would be very clear to the point.
I know, but that's how, because they give references from different scriptures. So different acharyas have written about that thing in different scriptures. So they give all the reference at one place. So it is the same thing expressed in different languages, nothing else. Okay. But one thing is clear, that even if you repeat it again and again, it becomes more clear. Repetition in spiritual text is not a crime. But if it's a law book, then repetitions are not allowed. But law books are only referred when you are arguing with somebody of different faith. Supposing a Jain scholar and a Buddhist scholar, if they argue, then repetitions won't be allowed. Even examples are not allowed there. But when yeah.
No, so sir, when you come to Dravya number 3,
Yes.
there is a part of Dravya number 2.
Right.
A part of Dravya number, whichever way you look at it, whether it's the Dravya, the space, the time, or the nature.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, like
So
broken down into 12.
So that's why it is 25. Dravya number 2 is 100. Okay. So this is 25, 1/4.
I get it. Okay.
Okay. But the name is Dravya. First one is also Dravya, second one is also Dravya, third one is also Dravya. Then it becomes difficult that why the same name everywhere. But this is the only difficult part for understanding it, that you have to see the context, on what context it is being said. And
So in Dravya
accordingly,
number 3, they're splitting it according to
Dravya,
the
Kshetra, Kal, Bhav.
yeah. It can be either of those 4 when you split it.
No. When you say Dravya number 3, it is the
Yeah.
first part, Dravya part only, no? Kshetra is different, Kal is different, Bhav is different. Dravya number 3 is Dravya part only. Out of 4 part, 1 part is Dravya. Okay?
Yeah.
So Dravya number 3 means Dravya part. And in Dravya part, they have got 2 words. One is general, another one is specific. Okay?
Yeah.
So Dravya number 3 is general specific.
I get it now. Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that it's number 3 cannot apply to space and time and nature.
No. Number 3 is applying to only Dravya part.
Okay. So that's where my confusion was coming. Okay.
Yes.
I think I'm getting it slowly.
No problem. Okay. After that, when the attention shifts from there, so self-realization happened. So self-realization is not going to last for a very long period of time at this householder level. Okay. So what will happen after that? After that, when the attention shifts from there means from the self-realized state. Okay. The attention shifts from there. It may turn towards the modification. Now we have only 2 options. Okay. One is modification and other one is valid knowledge. Okay. It may turn towards the modification, or it may go towards the entire substance modification natured entity. That is Dravya number 1. Or valid knowledge. Subject of valid knowledge, the complete entity, the whole entity. Okay. So we have only 2 things. One is valid knowledge, one is viewpoint. In viewpoint, we have 2 viewpoints. One is substance viewpoint, one is modification viewpoint, right? Our purpose of manifesting happiness will only be executed when we take shelter of Dravya number 2. Okay. So when you take shelter of Dravya number 2, okay, the modification part becomes secondary. Only the Dravya part is highlighted, and that is where the self-realization happens. But after self-realization, what will happen? So either it will go to the modification part, or it will go towards the whole entity, that is the valid knowledge. Okay. However, what must be borne in mind is that to deeply understand the modification aspect, the substance aspect must become completely secondary. Now, to understand the modification aspect, okay, the substance aspect will become secondary, because now we want to understand the modification aspect. Why we want to understand the modification aspect? Because we want to check how much is the impurity remaining, okay, what are the blemishes that I'm having, because all the blemishes are there in the modification, because substance is always pure. Okay, so all this is there. So when you are highlighting the modification viewpoint, okay, the other part, the substance viewpoint, becomes secondary. Okay.
So that modification is also a paryay.
Modification is a paryay, yeah.
Okay.
However, what must be borne in mind is that to deeply understand the modification aspect, the substance aspect must become completely secondary. Otherwise, the true nature of the modification will not become clear. Ultimately, in our valid knowledge, cognition, you cut down cognition and write knowledge. Ultimately, in our valid knowledge, the complete substance modification natured entity, including the pure modification, will become illumined. Okay, it will be highlighted. In that valid knowledge, not cognition, in that valid knowledge, formed right knowledge, substance and modification will be known together. Both will be highlighted, both would be primary. In this way, this is the natural process grounded in viewpoint and valid knowledge for knowing the general and specific natured entity. Okay. General and specific, not particular, but specific natured entity. Okay. So this one is very important. Are you able to understand? Okay. If
yes,
you want.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, sir.
Okay. So now we will discuss the divisions and subdivisions of substance related viewpoint. Okay. So substance related viewpoint have 10 divisions, subdivisions. Okay. Initially, they will show 6. Out of 6, the first 2 have 3 each. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and remaining 4. So total would be 10. Okay. So that we are going to discuss now. Okay. Read, Darshit ji.
Substance-related viewpoint, distinctions and sub-distinctions. Substance-related viewpoint is that which takes as its subject the eternal, one, non-differentiated, general aspect of the general and specific soul entity. In various scriptures, different types of substance-related viewpoints have been described from different viewpoints. After detailed analysis of these in Parambhav Prakashak, Nai Chakra, according to Dr. Hukamchand Baril, the 6 fundamental types of substance-related viewpoint are as follows. First one, pure substance-related viewpoint, Shuddh Dravyatik Nai. Second one, impure substance-related viewpoint, Ashuddh Dravyatik Nai. Third one, correlational substance-related viewpoint, Anvay Dravyatik Nai. Fourth one, substance-related viewpoint, imbibing one's own substance and related aspects, Swadravyadi grahak, dravyatik, nahi. Fifth one, substance-related viewpoint imbibing others' substance and related aspects. Per dravyadi, grahak, dravyatik, nahi. And then the sixth one, substance-related viewpoint imbibing the supreme nature. Parambhav, grahi, dravyatik, nahi. Among these, both pure substance-related viewpoint and impure substance-related viewpoint are of three kinds each. These can be understood through the following chart.
So now you see in chart you can see at a glance. So 1 and 2 has got 3 divisions, okay? And then of course 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this 3 plus 3, 6, and then the 4. So in total it will become 10. Okay. So first one is pure substance related viewpoint. It has got 3 divisions. Pure substance related viewpoint independent of karmic afflictions. Okay. Then pure substance related viewpoint independent of conceptual distinctions. Okay. Then third one, pure substance related viewpoint independent of origination destructions. Okay. Utpad Vyay. So the first one is independent of karmic infliction, means nirpeksh. Nirpeksh from karma upadhi. Okay. The second one is nirpeksh from bhed vikalp. Bhed kalpana or bhed vikalp. And the third is nirpeksh. Nirpeksh means independent of utpad vyay, evolution, distinction, origination, destructions. Okay. So why it is called pure substance related viewpoint? Because it is independent of these three. And why it is called impure? Because it is dependent on these three. You see, impure substance related viewpoint, these are also divided into three. Impure substance related viewpoint, here again it is written independent. So you cut IN, dependent of karmic afflictions. Again, second, impure substance related viewpoint, dependent of conceptual distinction. Again, you have to cut down in. Otherwise, there is no difference between pure and impure, right? If both are independent, then what is the difference? So, in will be cut, okay? And the third also, impure substance related viewpoint, dependent of origination, destructions, okay? Why this is impure? Because it is dependent. Why it is pure? Because it is independent, okay? So these 3 and 3 logics are quite clear. Each will be explained in the next page. Let's see. Next page. Read.
Among the above distinctions, freedom from karmic affliction, karmopadi, conceptual distinctions, bhed, kalpana, and origination destruction, utpadvyay, constitutes purity, sudhata, whereas association with karmic affliction, conceptual distinctions, and origination and destruction constitutes impurity, ashuddha.
So you see
The
three
soul-
aspects. 3 aspects in the pure, 3 aspects in the impure. What are the 3 aspects here? First one is freedom from. It is not freedom, it is independent from. To cut down form, FORM is also wrong. Independent from. Okay. So among the above distinctions, independent from karmic affliction, first one. Second one, independent from conceptual distinction, bhed kalpana. And third one is independent from origination, destruction, utpad vyay, constitutes purity, shuddhata. Okay. Because it is independent of these 3, that's why it is called pure. Okay. Whereas association with karmic affliction, You can write down association also, or you can write down relative to, relative or relatedness, relatedness with karmic affliction. Okay, that is in Hindi it is called sapeksh. Okay, first one was nirpeksh. Nirpeksh means independent from, and in the second part you can either write whereas association with, or whereas dependent on, or you can write whereas related with. Okay, relatedness with, all three words could be used, but here it is used association. Whereas association with karmic inflection, conceptual distinction, and origin and destruction constitutes impurity. Okay, so the first out of the 10 distinctions, okay, no, out of 6 distinctions, first two, Shuddh Dravyarthik Nahi, that is pure substance related viewpoint, and impure substance related viewpoint, these two are explained. Next paragraph now. The sole entity, which is the subject of substance related viewpoint, though distinct from the non-self. What is non-self? Everything apart from self is non-self. Par, swa, par. Par is everything non-self. Okay. Though distinct from the non-self and modification. Okay. Although it is an undifferentiated entity. Undifferentiated means abhed. Okay. Undifferentiated or non-differentiated entity. We are using non-differentiated everywhere. So you can write down non-differentiated entity. Just simply cut un and put non dash. Although it is, not n also will be cut down. Although it is non-differentiated entity endowed with infinite attributes, beyond all distinctions, beyond all, you write down conceptual distinctions. Beyond all conceptual distinctions, then you cut down and differentiation, that is to be cut down. Beyond all means nirpeksh, independent from all conceptual distinction, yet it is not such that it is entirely separate, possessing the characteristics of separateness from the modification. What kind of modification? Origination and destruction. From the origination, destruction, modification, their karmic afflictions and conceptual distinctions. Again, three words coming, the same three words, which were the cause of purity and which were also the cause of impurity. Association with these three causes impurity, and independence of these three causes purity. Okay. So three words, same three words, but the sequence has been changed. Earlier it was karmic affliction was first, then conceptual distinction, and then origination and destruction was there. Okay. Now the pattern has changed. Origination, destruction has been written first, then karmic, and then conceptual distinctions.
Sorry, this conceptual distinctions, can you elaborate a bit more on it?
That's coming up. Conceptual
Okay.
Conceptual distinctions means bhed vikalp. Okay, so all these is coming up in the definition. There we will read. All three will be explained. All three purity part will be explained. All three impurity parts will also be explained. Okay, so don't worry, it is coming one by one. Though the focus is on observing the substance aspect, it can still be viewed either dependently in relation to its modification in the form of origination and destruction. Second part, the conditions afflicting those modification, that is karmic afflictions, and the third is conceptual distinctions or independently of them. So again, same things is being repeated. Okay, so observing could be in two ways. Either it is dependently in relation to its modification, means associated with modification, and one is without the association. Okay, independently. So one is dependently, one is independently. Two ways to look at the substance aspect. Viewing it dependently is considered impure, okay, and independently is considered pure. Okay. Here a question may arise. Since origination, destructions of modification, first part, afflictive states arising from alien association, aupadik bhav, that is attachments, etc. These are all karmic afflictions, okay, the attachments, etc. And conceptual distinction, again these three, all three being in the form of modification, should have been the subject of the mode related viewpoint. Why are they being considered here as the subject of the substance related viewpoint? So we are discussing here now the distinctions of only substance related viewpoint. And while discussing the distinction, we see that the three things that is being considered, first one is karmic affliction, that is also in the modification. The second one is conceptual distinction, that is also forms a part of modification. And the third one is origination and destruction, that is also in the modification. So why they are being discussed here? Okay, that is the question. It could have been included in the mode related viewpoint. Why you are discussing here? So see, the answer is very interesting answer. Why are they being considered here as the subject of the substance related viewpoint? Okay, this is the question mark. Okay. In the above statement, the focus is not primarily on the modification, but on the substance. And that's why it is a part of the substance related viewpoint. Because although we are discussing the modification, okay, but we are focusing on the substance part. Okay. In the above statement, the focus is not primarily on the modification, but on the substance, because it is the substance that is being observed, not the modification. The point is merely this: viewing the substance in relation to the modification is the function of impure substance related viewpoint. Okay. Viewing the substance in relation to the modification is the function of impure substance related viewpoint. Number 2. And viewing the substance as independently from the modification. You write down devoid of, cancel devoid of, and write down independent from the modification is the function of pure substance related viewpoint. Okay. Correction done. Okay. Here, the sole purpose is to view the substance. Hence, it is indeed a substance related viewpoint. The modification are not entirely separate from the substance. However, had the impure substance related viewpoint not been employed, then on the basis of pure substance related viewpoint, there would arise a scenario of absolute distinction in which the modifications would be considered completely separate. Therefore, the statement of impure substance related viewpoint are indeed meaningful and purposeful, not meaningless or without purpose. Okay. If only impure substance related viewpoint were discussed, then the viewpoint asserting the distinction, then the viewpoint asserting the distinctness from the modification would remain unclear. Without that, the substance as substratum means basis, the foundation, would not be properly revealed. Without that, the substance as the basis or the foundation would not be properly revealed. Thus, the pure substance related viewpoint, which shows the substance as independent of modification, is also not without purpose. Rather, it is extremely necessary and significant since it fulfilled the fundamental objective. Again, a question. A question that is possible is that should not viewing the substance along with the modification be the subject of valid knowledge rather than that of substance-related viewpoint? Yet here it is described as the subject of substance-related viewpoint. Answer. In valid knowledge, both the substance aspect and modification aspect are equally primary, or rather, there is no consideration at all of primary and secondary. However, here the substance aspect is primary and the modification aspect is secondary, not auxiliary, but secondary. We will use the standard words. Okay, so write down secondary. Therefore, this is unquestionably the domain of substance related viewpoint and not mode related viewpoint or valid knowledge. Since the entity has generality and specificity, again you have to change here, specificity, that is, it is with substance modification, then it is true that modifications are present within the entity. Yet, even in their presence, it is possible for substance-related viewpoint to render them secondary. We need not remove anything. We have to just apply the viewpoint, make one thing primary and make other things secondary. That's all. And we can straightway connect to our soul. Okay. To render them secondary, disregard them completely. However, whether the substance aspect of the entity is seen in relation to the modification, meaning the karmic afflictions, origination, destruction, and conceptual distinctions, or seen independently of them, this falls entirely within the scope of substance-related viewpoint. So that's why it is included here. Thus, we see that although the subject of substance-related viewpoint is the substance aspect of every entity, due to the primacy of self-welfare with the soul as target. The aforementioned distinctions and sub-distinctions are made. Seeing the substance in relation to the modification results in impurity and is thus called impure substance related viewpoint. So when you see the substance in relation to the modification, it becomes impure substance related viewpoint. Whereas seeing the substance independently of the modification results in purity and is thus called pure substance related viewpoint. That is, relatedness itself is impurity and independence, nirpekshta, or non-relatedness, nirpekshta itself is purity. In brief, it can be said, based on the relativity of karmic afflictions, origination, destruction, and conceptual distinctions, three types of impure substance related viewpoint arise. And from the viewpoint of being independent of them, three types of pure substance related viewpoints are formed. Okay. Now each is being explained. First, pure substance related viewpoint. Shuddha Dravyatik Nay. That which focuses on pure substance is called pure substance related viewpoint. This viewpoint has three types. A, pure substance related viewpoint independent of karmic affliction. Okay, see the definition. That which grasps the soul entangled in karmas as equally pure as the liberated one. Liberated one means Siddh Bhagwan. Okay. That which grasps the soul entangled in karmas, although it is entangled in karmas, although it is in the body, still it grabs the soul entangled in karmas as equally pure as the liberated one, is called pure substance related viewpoint, independent of karmic afflictions. Okay.
So, sir, which Gunastan is this then?
This is of course it starts with fourth, okay,
Yeah.
but it could be anything between 4 and 14. Okay, because just the other day we studied about real point of view and conventional point of view, and in that there was number 8, supreme real point of view, which was called the king of all nayas. Okay, similarly this is also the same, pure substantive related viewpoint independent of karmic afflictions. Okay. That which grasps the soul entangled in karmas as equally pure as the liberated one is called pure substance related viewpoint independent of karmic affliction. This viewpoint is not based on the perspective of karmas. You cancel viewpoint, you write instead perspective of karma. This viewpoint is not based on the perspective of karmas because it is independent of karmic afflictions. It states that the soul is as pure as the liberated one. Okay, right now. So this viewpoint is not based on the perspective of karmas. For example, the mundane soul is a pure self, just like the liberated soul. That is, just as the liberated one, Siddh Bhagwan, is currently pure even in its mode. Similarly, the mundane soul too is by intrinsic nature a pure soul. स्वभाव से शुद्ध, जो कभी अशुद्ध हुआ नहीं, जिसे कभी शुद्ध होना नहीं. Okay, the one which has never become impure and the one which doesn't want to become pure. Why? Because it is pure from the beginning itself. Okay, so this was the first, independent of karmic affliction. Second one is independent of conceptual distinction. So Darshiji, your answer is coming here. That viewpoint which does not differentiate between quality and its possessor. Gun, guni. So for gun, we write attribute and its possessor. Okay. Gun, guni. So this does not differentiate between gun, guni, attribute and its possessor. Then the second one would be property and its possessor. Okay. Dharma and dharmi. Dharma, dharmi, gun, guni, mode and the one undergoing modes. Paryai, paryayi. Okay. Paryayi is mode and the one undergoing modes. Paryayi. Okay. Or nature and its possessor. Nature is Swabhav and its possessor is Swabhavan. Okay. So this viewpoint does not differentiate between all these. Okay. Is called pure substance related viewpoint independent of conceptual distinctions. Understood? This does not differentiate between gun, guni, dharma, dharmi, swabhav, swabhavvan, and paryay, paryayi. Okay, this does not differentiate. That's why this is called independent of conceptual distinctions. For example, the substance is non-distinct from its property, comma, attributes. Non-distinct. Okay, non-distinct means abhinna, one from its property. You cancel attributes, you write property. Okay, properties, then qualities would be attributes. Modes, that is paryay, and nature, swabhav. Okay, for example, the substance is non-distinct from its properties, attributes, modes, and nature. Non-distinct means one and the same. There is no difference. That is, the sole substance is non-distinct from its property of eternal and non-eternal, from its, so here it is written permanence and impermanence, you cut down, from its property. Instead of attribute, you write property of eternal and non-eternal. From its, again cancel qualities and write attributes such as knowledge. From its modes such as sensory knowledge and omniscience, and from its conscious nature. Okay, so the soul is non-distinct, okay, from all these things. In the above example, the soul is the possessor of attributes. Here attributes means properties. Okay, you can write it down as properties. Dharma is always called properties. Possessor of properties and permanence, impermanence, eternal, non-eternal, are the, not attributes, properties are the properties. The soul is the possessor of qualities and knowledge, etc. So qualities would be attributes, okay, and knowledge, etc. are the, again, attributes. The soul is the one undergoing modification, and sensory knowledge, etc. are the modification. Okay, in the above example, again I am repeating, the soul is the possessor of properties, eternal, non-eternal are the properties. The soul is the possessor of attributes, knowledge, etc. Soul is the possessor. So soul is the possessor, and all these are its infinite attributes, properties, nature, and power. Okay, we use 4 words for Shakti. You know, 4 words for Shakti. One is Gun, one is Dharma. Gun is called attributes, Dharma is called property. Then we have Swabhav. Swabhav is called nature. And then we have power or Shakti. Shakti. Okay. All these indicate the attributes only. Okay. Different names used in different context. So at the gross level, they are all synonymous, but at the subtle level, each one is different. Okay. So in the above example, soul is the possessor of all these properties, attributes, power, all these. And soul is the possessor of essential nature, and consciousness is its essential nature. Okay. So in the above example, that is independent of conceptual distinction, all the distinctions are submerged, and what evolves is the pure substance. We want to highlight the pure substance. So all the distinctions are ignored or made secondary. Okay. So this was the second part. Now third part, we will take it up in the next week. Pure substance related viewpoint independent of origination destruction. Okay. So origination and destruction happens in the modification, and this substance is independent of modifications. So it is third one. Okay. So that you can read. Now, if you read all the others also, you will be able to understand. Just have a reading, also revise the past one. You have 4-5 days time with you. And next week onwards, we will be having classes on Monday and Tuesday. Okay. So next Monday, Tuesday, we will be finishing this chapter, Agam Ke Naye. Okay. So you have got one more chance. Put in 2-3 hours, read it again and again. If you have any difficulties, you can straightway call me. No need to message. Okay. I'll try to explain you then and there. Today, Sashikala ji called me up and she had some doubts. So that was solved. So it doesn't take much time because you have already worked hard on it. You are stuck up somewhere. So now when I say the solution, you understand it better. Okay. So if you read it again and again, you'll be able to understand it. There is some problem with the language that is always be there, because this is originally written in Sanskrit and then translated to Hindi. So Hindi is a natural flow of language for this kind of scriptures. English is something we are trying right now. So it will take some time to sink into it. Okay. So in meantime, you have to struggle a bit, but as you practice, it becomes quite clear. Okay. Okay. So we will start from C, 1C. Okay. Up to here, it is lecture 16. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी